Hi everybody, welcome to this week's live crystal channeling, and today I am channeling from Blue Kyanite. Blue Kyanite, very popular request here for the weekly channelings. A lot of people feel drawn to this crystal. This is certainly one of the first crystals I purchased for its therapeutic benefits. The power of Blue Kyanite is how it aligns the mind with the throat, with our abilities to communicate. So our third eye with our throat chakras very powerfully resonate with Blue Kyanite. It's an excellent crystal for psychic ability, for learning, for communication, for empowerment. It's also a really wicked psychic shield, especially for those of you who feel like people malevolently get into your head. Blue Kyanite really helps to create a buffer zone so that either that stuff doesn't affect you at all, or you see it, you see it in your head, you feel it, you're like, oh, there's that person again in my head, or they're getting into my head or whatever, and I'm choosing not to allow it. So it grounds us in our empowerment when it comes to communication and mental and psychic ability. But anyway, without further ado, I'm going to start channeling now, and we'll see what comes through from Blue Kyanite. Ooh, and this is like really, this is a really powerful crystal too, because it's I haven't worked with this in a little while, so it's been sitting juicing up from earth frequencies and replenishing its energy, so it's really strong. So immediately I feel like it's got a really uplifting energy, a really uplifting frequency. That seems to be a theme that keeps coming through these channelings for people in terms of lifting the spirits, lifting energy, lifting the mood, and it just really a very powerful wash of energy comes up from the heart chakra through just the whole body, really, up to the crown, which is interesting because I don't usually feel Blue Kyanite energy in the crown. Definitely feeling a lot of energy here. In my other hand, which is always a sign of a high frequency crystal. When it hits that powerfully, and you're immediately feeling its energy radiate through your body and through your main energy channels. There's subtle channels in the body. And I can feel my third eye chakra expanding, pulsing. Whenever you feel pressure here, and it's not headache related, of course, but whenever you're feeling pressure or tension or kind of like pulsing, or almost like, there's energy going like that in your third eye chakra, it's a sign actually that your third eye chakra is expanding. It's becoming more activated by chi, by energy. And bear in mind too that the third eye chakra, we always relate it specifically to psychic energy, but it's also cognitive energy. So our mental processes, our thoughts, our ability to learn, remember, dreaming, which kind of spans both. And again, I feel that energy bridge between the third eye chakra and between the throat. And especially that's beneficial, and it's reminding me that that's beneficial for people who feel like they trip over their words. They feel like they have trouble articulating their thoughts, especially at times where the pressure's on and it counts. So people who are at meetings, people who are doing public speaking, people who are performing, people who are speaking out at rallies. And this also translates to writing. So this is a really powerful crystal for people who are writers, or who are writing. And again, I'm being shown not just necessarily creative writing, but certainly for people who are reporters, people who are journalists, people who are writing exams. I get a lot of questions from people, wanting to help their children who are students or who are students themselves. And, how do I do better at my studies? How do I do better focusing in class? How do I do better at my exams? This is a great crystal for that. Again, I can really feel, it's interesting too how I can feel blue kyanite's energy in my aura and my auric field, and again how it's raised that frequency, and it's telling me that that's one of the ways that blue kyanite is exceptionally powerful for psychic protection, especially again on the mental plane. So for those of you who feel bombarded by all the negativity, all the negative thoughts that are out there, all the negative things that people are saying, and how that energy can come in and it can affect you, it really helps to buffer that out. It's extremely powerful. It's also powerful for those of you who get concerned about being bothered by dark spirits, dark spiritual emanations, elementals. I'm seeing even malevolent ETs, which I don't usually go there. I'm an earth girl. I don't usually go there. But, I'm seeing that if it speaks to any of you, weird ghostios or things that go bump in the night. But again, especially that triggers that fear and those fear thought processes, it really helps to buffer and protect. So this is so much a crystal about empowerment, helping us to be in our power, but in a different way. We relate oftentimes empowerment to being grounded, to being strong. But this is so much about, that other level of empowerment, which is our thoughts and how we think and how we express ourselves, both internally and externally. Because we do ourselves oftentimes more damage from and again, we're using negativity in a way that's really rather judgmental, or not meant to be judgmental, but it's really just about lower frequency that's harmful, that doesn't feel good. And so it's in reference to these lower frequencies. We can do ourselves as much harm, if not more, than what we feel we're experiencing in the world with how, we speak to ourselves, how we treat ourselves. I've even noticed the past couple of weeks, the way my thoughts keep going back to like negative potential scenarios. And I'm like, whoa, what's that about? No, not putting my energy into that. And so again, blue kyanite's very much about bringing us into alignment with our power and our power states. In some crystal teachings, they talk about blue kyanite aligning the energy of the chakras. And while it doesn't specifically do that, what it is showing me is that it does create a column of power that helps to bring us into levels of power. And so often, empowerment, how we choose to tap our potential, how we choose to show up for ourselves in our lives, it comes that comes from a thought process. There's a feeling, and then there's a thought, and then we take action on the thought. And so what it's showing me is that it helps bring us back into our power. I think my little doggy just came into the room. It helps to bring us back into that state of power, that state of alignment with ourselves. And again, this is another big theme that has been coming up in our readings the past while in response to what people are needing out there. So very high energy stone. You can even see how I started off kind of in like a really kind of mellow sort of sedate place, and now I'm like, woo, I'm gonna write for the rest of the day and it's gonna be awesome. But it really, really elevates your power, your frequency. It brings you into alignment with yourself, but it helps to lasso our mental energy in terms of where it's always going potentially into negative and fear-based states. And it brings us more into a center place where we're empowered mentally, psychically, in terms of our aura, and also our ability to express, to listen to spirit, and to articulate ourselves effectively, especially in terms of being understood by others and also understanding ourselves. So, woo, that was good. And it's amazing because these channelings always feel like they're like 1 minute, 2 minutes to me, and then I open my eyes and we're like at 10 minutes. So here we go, guys. Blue kyanite, wicked powerful crystal. Great choice for everyone who selected this and voted for this week's channeling. And of course, I will be back next week and I'll load this up on IGTV and YouTube for those of you who missed it later tomorrow afternoon. So thank you. Stay in your power, stay graceful and full of light. Much love to you, and I'll see you guys next week.